Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief keeps you informed about what's happening in Annapolis and Arundel County and Maryland. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and, of course, local weather. Your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis daily news brief. Well, it is finally here. It is Election Day. Hopefully a little bit later on tonight, we'll have a better idea of who will be the next president of the United States. But for now, on this Election Day, I do have some last-minute tips if you're going to vote in person. Number one, you want to double-check where you're supposed to vote. Do not go by the address on your card. You can go to eyeonannapolis.net. We've got an article that's pinned to the top. Click on the link that says Vote Center Locations. Find the one closest to you. You don't need to go to the one that is closest to you if you work in a different area. Anyone in Anne Arundel County will be able to take anybody. You do want to check the local weather forecast. Make sure you dress accordingly because there may be lines, possibly because of the turnout and possibly because of the reduced capacity in the voting centers. The polls are open 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., and if you are in line by 8 p.m., you will get a chance to vote regardless of what time you actually cast that vote. However, the best times to go are 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Reminder, if you do have a mail-in ballot in your possession, the drop boxes are still open until 8 o'clock tonight. The voting centers will require you to wear a mask, and if you have a condition or a disability that prevents you from wearing a mask, you will be filling out a provisional ballot outside of the voting room to make sure that everybody else is protected. Again, if you have already mailed in your ballot or possibly dropped it in the drop box, you want to go to eyeonannapolis.net. Again, check out that article and go to the online ballot tracker link. Find out the status of your ballot. If you have mailed it in or if you have dropped it in the box and it is not showing as received, you probably want to get to a polling location and cast a vote. You probably will be voting provisionally until they verify that your vote did not get received through the mail or through a drop box. If you are mailing a ballot, you still can do it today. It must be postmarked by the post office, not just dropped in a box, but postmarked by the post office today, and it must be received no later than November 13th. Nobody has any faith in the post office that that's going to happen, so my suggestion is take it to a drop box. So what happens after everything closes? At 8 p.m., they're going to release the results from mail-in ballots counted up to Election Day, as well as early voting, which was October 26th through yesterday. And in subsequent hours on election night, results from in-person Election Day will be updated and released on the county's website. Again, that's at aacounty.org/vote. If you have never registered to vote and you want to vote, you can register when you get to the polling location. You will need some sort of a government-issued ID, an MVA driver's license or ID card will work, or possibly a passport. You'll also need a paycheck, bank statement, utility bill, or something else that's official that will tie your name with your address to prove that you live in the area where you're able to vote. Again, the best thing to do is go to eyeonannapolis.net. We have a post pinned to the very front page, has all of those links for you. Whatever you do, get out there and vote. Brooks Dubose from the Capitol had a very interesting article about HACA. Apparently, there are 285 families who owe more than $500,000 in unpaid rent, and they are now at risk of eviction for the first time since the COVID pandemic began. The executive director for the Housing Authority said that this could happen very soon, and she really has her hands tied because this is largely funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Their requirements say they must enforce their lease, which does include rent collection. People that are living in Housing Authority properties can stop any kind of an eviction. If you set up a plan, you may be able to hold it off. Unfortunately, only 25 residents have done that at this point. The Housing Authority did send a bunch of letters. They made phone calls and got very little response to that. And just to put it all into perspective, the Housing Authority has 790 homes. With 285 of them facing eviction, that's 36%. So if you are living in public housing, make sure you get to the HACA office. Find out if you can set up a payment plan or whatever they can do to help you stay in your home. Congratulations to the nonprofit Rebuilding Together Anne Arundel County. You are the proud recipient of $54,000 from Impact 100 Greater Chesapeake. The members of Impact 100 decided to award that $54,000 to Rebuilding Together Anne Arundel County, and what they do is they offer repairs to homes in Anne Arundel County. So far, they've done over 700 homes, and typically what this is when low-income homeowners have no place to turn when the roof is starting to leak or the front steps crumble, or perhaps they become disabled and need a ramp. That's where Rebuilding Together comes in to pick up the slack. It is provided at no cost to the homeowners. Now, Impact 100 is a group of local women. It was started here in Annapolis in 2018. And what they do is they ask each woman to donate $1,000 a year, and they pool those $1,000 donations into one single grant for one qualifying nonprofit. Pretty cool. If you want to check it out, go to impact100greaterchesapeake.org. And in the middle of that is the number 100. impact100greaterchesapeake.org. Congratulations to Rebuilding Together Anne Arundel County, and way to go, Impact 100. And speaking of way to go to Zeskinds Hardware in Millwork. They have a place over there in Arundel, Maryland, and you can actually listen to a podcast that we did with them a little bit ago. And Rick Miller, who's the president, said that they have acquired a 85-year-old Lamar and Wallace millwork in Landover. Now, Zeskind is a 95-year-old fourth-generation family-owned business. They acquired an 85-year-old family-owned business, and that's really going to quadruple the warehouse space and double their annual revenue. Rick said, "This isn't our goal. This is where we are starting from." And Rick's great-grandfather opened Zeskinds in 1925 as a corner hardware store in Baltimore City. He worked there during high school and college, rejoined the company as part owner in 2008, and has been kicking butt ever since. Under his leadership, they did build a 10,000 square foot warehouse. They renovated an existing 8,000 square foot warehouse, opened offices and a showroom in Southwest Baltimore, and offices and a showroom right here in Arnold, Maryland. So, congratulations to Rick Miller and your team at Zeskinds Hardware and Millwork. And you want to check out the Legacy Business Spotlight that we did with Zeskinds because it was really kind of interesting, all the things that they do get into. All right, that wraps up the news for us this morning. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day for updates to these stories and more, especially that voting information. If you're someplace you can leave us a rating or a review, please do that. And make sure your friends, family, and colleagues all know how to get a hold of the Daily News Brief. Other than that, you need to go vote if you haven't already. But other than that, you need to hang tight because we've got George Young with your local DC MDVA weather forecast. He's coming up in just 1 minute. But first, here's a quick message from Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services, with your Clean Energy Minute. Does your home experience power outages? Or maybe you're concerned about energy resilience in general? If so, that's another great reason to consider clean, quiet solar-powered energy with battery backup. You may have heard residential solar adoption has rapidly increased during the pandemic for multiple reasons, and many homeowners, like yourself, are adding battery backup and electric vehicle charging to their solar projects. And with Maryland's residential energy storage income tax credit, along with the federal tax credit for batteries when paired with solar, the economics are quite compelling, and that secure feeling is even better. So whether you're looking for clean energy, energy resilience, or overall peace of mind with solar energy, we can help. To schedule a free solar design, call us today at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net. But hurry, sunshine's a-wasting.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
When you live near Annapolis, you know how fickle the weather can be. So you need a truly local forecast that's accurate and reliable. Forecast right here in Annapolis. DCMDVA weather is not just for today, but for the rest of the week and the weekend too. Now here's George Young of DCMDVA weather with the weather outlook for today and beyond.
Hey everyone, this is George with DCMDVA Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Tuesday, November 3rd. Yesterday was a blustery start to the first work and school week in November 2020, with winds gusting over 40 miles per hour at times, as highs struggle to hit 50-plus degrees across the county. And while today will still be breezy and chilly for Election Day 2020, with highs in the 50s and winds gusting over 20 miles per hour at times, it'll be a slight improvement over Monday and a step in the right direction for the rest of the week, which is for continued sunshine each day through the weekend, with highs in the 60s by tomorrow, mid to upper 60s Thursday, followed by upper 60s to maybe lower 70s Friday through Sunday. So bundle up if headed out early or late today to vote, and then make plans to get out and about as much as possible Wednesday through the weekend, as the weather will be excellent for early November. though we'll have to keep an eye on the tropics yet again for another potential Gulf of Mexico system next week that could possibly bring more rain to the Annapolis region by mid-month. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DC MDVA Weather. Make it a great day out there. Get out and vote. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DC MDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores. And also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And use our website each day at dcmdvaweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
Another moving moment from Christy Neidhart of the Christy Neidhart team from Northrop Realty, a Long and Foster company.
Going through a real estate home sale or purchase is a very personal and sometimes stressful experience. Hi, I'm Christy Neidhart. My team and I are committed to working with people both buying and selling homes in all price points. Whether it's giving you a competitive edge while buying a home or negotiating the best price and terms while selling your home, we always have our clients' best interest at heart. Our goal is to provide exceptional service so that you will recommend us to your friends and family over and over again. Serving people is a passion of mine, and it's what my team does best. That's the Neidhart difference.
That's another moving moment from Christy Neidhart. To get in touch, call 410-295-6579 or visit kn-team.com. That's kn-team.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues, this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. And don't forget about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. And make sure you follow us on Facebook at All Annapolis and on Twitter at Eye on Annapolis. This Daily News Brief podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m.